Today we're going to be talking about some pro-level fragrances that I think every guy should know about. These go a little bit beyond the mainstream scents that you see all the time that you are most likely to encounter people wearing. I think these are going to stand out a little bit more, which a lot of people are interested in. So if you do want to stand out, wear something a bit different, and kind of smell unique, but still smell great, check some of these out. I want to get things kicked off with an iconic niche brand, okay? And you really would never think that there's anything kind of more or less under the radar from this brand, but there is. It's Creed, okay? And you think of all the main ones. But one that you don't really hear about all that often is Creed Aera. So it's got lime, bergamot, melon, it's got a pine tree accord, and so much more. The note breakdown on this one is wild, and it really kind of gives you an idea of what the scent is about. And I think sometimes these days with the limited note breakdowns, they kind of leave a lot of it up to your imagination. You know, they just kind of want you to, I guess, decide what you pick up on. But not with this. I mean, they lay it all out for you. And how many of those notes can you actually pinpoint? I don't know, probably not all of them, because there's a lot, and some more prominent than others. But it really does focus on, essentially, it's the ambergris, the melon, the lime, the citrus. It's a very bright, fresh, summery, and oceanic smell. This will get compared a little bit to another fragrance from the same brand, and that's Millésime Imperial, but there's still quite a bit of a difference as well. Mainly being this one has just more of a saltiness. It has more of a kind of a mature smell to it as well, whereas Millésime Imperial, I think, is a little bit more playful and a little bit more unisex. I think this one has more of a masculine, strong, oceanic, just more of a powerful smell to it, if that makes sense. This smells wonderful, and it's been around for a long time as well, and it never got popular. It still really isn't, but definitely pick up a bottle of Aera. This stuff is perfect for summertime. This next one is Baccarat Rouge 540 Eau de Parfum. This stuff is crazy expensive, and I think that's part of the reason why it got so popular, which sounds weird, but sometimes, you know, when you take a look at these niche brands and they have excessive pricing, it kind of draws people in and they want to know what it's all about. They end up smelling it and really liking it. Now, you can also go for one of many clones of Baccarat Rouge 540 because there are a lot and they're for a fraction of the cost. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars when you could spend, you know, $20, $30, $40 on a clone. And I've done a lot of videos on clones and Baccarat Rouge 540 clones as well that you can look into. Ultimately, I figured I would include the original just to keep things simple. But again, there are plenty of options if you don't want to spend this much money. And for me, Baccarat Rouge 540, it's always been an interesting one because it is so not what I was expecting. And I think it's the case for a lot of people. It has a very transparent, light, kind of wispy delivery to it. And people often think that it's not all that strong. They kind of make that mistake. They do a couple of sprays and they think it's, you know, super weak and it's gone within an hour. It's just not the case. This stuff is very, very interesting in how it presents itself. So it's something to keep in mind. A lot of saffron in here, a lot of woods, kind of an amber woods smell going on too. A fir resin also, kind of a balsam fir type of deal. It's, again, it's just different. Some people say it kind of smells like cotton candy or something. Sure, I guess I can see that a little bit. Ultimately, while you may find some people wearing this here and there, maybe some clones or some things that smell similar, it's not going to be the case as often as a lot of other scents out there. Let's go for Gentleman Eau de Parfum Reserve Privé up next. This stuff is great. Nice chestnut, iris, and whiskey combination here. It's one of my favorites in the line, and I pretty much knew that was going to be the case when I first saw it announced and I looked at the note breakdown. I had a feeling I was going to like it, and of course I was right. And why is that? Well, it's because I like all of the others in the line, and I like iris, and I also like when they throw in a bit of a boozy accord like a whiskey or a rum, and I also like the note of chestnut. So I think everything just kind of made sense on paper, and it turned out to be the case in real life as well. Because that's not always the case. Sometimes they list off certain notes and then you don't smell them at all. That's not the case with this one. They're pretty truthful in what they're advertising here. This one is very reasonably priced, unlike the first two we started out the video with. So from here on out, things are going to be a little bit more affordable. This one usually you can get for just under $100 or right around $100 for 100 ml. Let's go for Prada Lunar Rosa Black up next. It is a tonka bean based scent. That's basically it. You get some amber also, but it's mostly about that tonka bean. It's powdery, it's dusty, it's sweet by nature because tonka bean is sweet, but it doesn't have a syrupy sweet smell. It just has, again, a powderiness about it. I guess the amber in here would give it just a little bit more of a traditional style of sweetness, but it's not nearly as prominent as the tonka bean. People kind of might say it smells like baby powder or it reminds them of that or something, you know, just like Ferragamo F Black did back in the day, that very strong powdery based scent, you know, so just kind of depends on what type of scent you're looking for. If you're wanting something that's traditionally masculine smelling, this is not it, and I would stay away from it. And if you're wanting something that is different and unique, I would say that this is it, and it would be something to at least look into. I don't know what it's going for these days. It's been all over the board, and there was a point where we kind of thought it was discontinued, but then it came back. I don't know, probably $80 to $100 for 100 ml. And I think it used to be like quite a bit more than that, but it has come back down now that it's kind of stabilized in the market. It's definitely something worth looking into depending on what you like. Go for another niche fragrance up next. Like I said, though, it's going to be more affordable this time. Really, it's basically designer price. It's Tonka Cola, of course, by Mancera. Now, personally, I think these 60 mLs don't really make sense. They're you know, not the best price per milliliter. Why do I have one? Well, that was all that was available when it first came out. Bought it, and they were already sold out of the 120, and so trying to get it in quick because I was really, really excited for this one. I just opted for the 60 ml. I was excited about this one primarily because of the name, more specifically the last part of it, cola. I love fizzy, kind of bubbly fragrances, right? And when this was first announced, obviously nobody had smelled it yet, and other than speculating from some of the notes, you really couldn't yet come to the conclusion that potentially it smells like Rosa Creation E, because ultimately that's what ended up happening. When people started getting their hands on this one, smelling it, some similarities to Creation E, you know, started to spread, you know, that kind of rumor started to go around. And I do think that they are in a similar category, although I don't think that this is a clone. And I explained it the exact same way with Cedrat Boise versus Aventus. Are they in a similar category? For sure. They're woody, they're fruity, and Cedrat Boise is a little bit sweet. Aventus could be a tiny bit sweet depending on, I guess, what version of Aventus you get. But yeah, similar category, but Cedrat Boise is not a clone. Same thing with this. They're probably taking inspiration for sure. You're getting kind of this warm spice, this mature smell, and then a little bit of a boozy kick, more so an Enigma. Not quite as much here, although a little, okay? So yeah, you could say that. But I do find this to actually be a lot more wearable than Rosa Creation E. I've heard people say that that just kind of smells like an old man, and I don't really think that necessarily, but I would say that it is very mature and very premium smelling. This one, while it is still an expensive smelling scent and it does have kind of a classiness to it, I still think it has more of a usability aspect to it. I think you could wear this in a wider variety of situations, and I think that it probably would appeal to more people overall. Let's go for Sauvage Elixir up next. So there are clones for this as well. 20 bucks will get you Latafa Assad, and you've basically got something that almost is exactly the same. So if you don't want to spend, you know, $140, $150 or whatever it is for a 60 ml bottle, you've got that option too. I understand, yes, that Sauvage Elixir is popular in the community, but I don't think that it will ever hit the ranks that the original, mostly the original, did. It's just, it doesn't have that type of trendy appeal to it. I mean, really, why did Sauvage Eau de Toilette get so popular? Well, because it was a beast mode performer, it was a great compliment puller, and it just smelled good. You throw in some good marketing and advertising as well. You give it a magnetic cap and a cool looking bottle. nice atomizer. A lot of things came together for that one to really get as popular as it did. And it was also just kind of a Blue de Chanel competitor, and I think that probably helped as well because they are kind of in a similar category, accomplishing a similar thing, and they're both blue. But Sauvage Elixir, it's completely different. It's all about the warm spices, the sandalwood, the licorice, the cardamom. There's so much more that I can never remember off the top of my head. There's a lot of warm spices going on, and sandalwood, and that's basically it. It's woody, sweet, and warm spicy. There's no ambroxan, there's no bergamot, bright pop. It just doesn't have that blue shower gel Sauvage eau de toilette deal going on. And because of that, I think this one will always be more of a, enthusiast style scent, or at least one where fewer people spend time with it and start to wear it a ton. This next one is Valentino Womo, just the original one here. I love the original. I love Womo Intense. I like quite a few of the flankers nowadays, but you just don't hear about the original Valentino Womo. I mean, you just never do. And it's kind of a shame because it's wonderful. It has coffee, hazelnut, chocolate, no iris in this one, I do believe, but it's got those other sweet kind of gourmand style notes. The iris is introduced in Womo Intense, but they're still pretty similar even without that note. This stuff is wonderful smelling, and it's going to be, of course, fresher than Womo Intense, but still it's not a fresh scent by any means. But given that it is a little bit more of a fresher style, I think it is that much more wearable, and I think it's one that a lot of people would be surprised when they smell it, just how good it is for a low price, comparatively speaking. Womo Intense is $80, $90, $100. This one is usually around, I don't know, $60 maybe for 100 ml. It's much more affordable given that it is the first in the line. It's been out the longest, and there's really no hype behind it. You can get it for a very good price. It far exceeded my expectations because, of course, I didn't get this right away. I started with Womo Intense and worked as we got into all the other new releases, and I finally circled all the way back and got the original. I wish I would have gotten it sooner. Let's finish this video off with Tom Ford Noir Extreme. This is the Parfum. I think this is so much better than the EDP, the original one, mainly because performance. The EDP, the original, has never been a great performer on myself, and I've seen that complaint from others too. And you pay a good amount of money for it, and it doesn't last all that long. It's unique for sure. It has that kind of gourmand, there's a kulfi note is what they call it. I don't know, other than being some sort of dessert, I don't know specifically anything about it, but it is a gourmand. It does have some cardamom as well, a little bit spicy, sweet, and even though it's all those things, it still kind of has a classy Tom Ford vibe to it as well somehow. So all that checked out except for the performance. The Extreme, or the Parfum, excuse me, the Extreme Parfum, I guess is what it is officially, fixes that. It's a true Parfum concentration. It lasts significantly longer, and one of my favorite things, they throw in some leather. So it's actually a little bit more masculine. It's a little bit more refined, in my opinion. It's just the one to get. And of course, it's a little bit more money than the original, but when you're already getting ready to spend that much anyway, you're right there, you're about ready to click place order. To me, it kind of makes a bit more sense, and I think you get more a better product by just spending a bit of extra money and going for the Parfum version. I think this one's the way to go. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. Some pro level scents that I think every guy should look into. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.